Okay, just to start off, I have no idea what prompted this video. I just am sitting here in my room, chilling, listening to the rain and the thunder going outside my window right now, and I just thought that I would make a little Reylo video because I have never made one before. So just to start off, this is not about whether Reylo is canon or will be canon. This is all about why I ship Reylo. At the end of the day, I have no control over whether Reylo will be canon or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point that it is, but, you know, I'm not the one making the movie. So I'm going to enjoy shipping what I want because, well, because I can. Okay, so just as a disclaimer, just because I am a Trashy Reylo shipper doesn't mean that I am closed off to other people's opinions about these characters or the story at large. I realize that not everyone's going to have the same ideas about things coming out of a movie. When I went into seeing Star Wars The Force Awakens for the first time, I had absolutely no idea what to expect. I don't even know how this happened, but I didn't even know that a new Star Wars movie was coming out until like 2 days before it hit theaters. I had to find out from a waiter at an Italian restaurant that The Force Awakens was coming out, despite the fact that I watched Nick at Night like literally every night. But then once I found out from the waiter at the Italian restaurant, then it seemed like I started to hear about Star Wars everywhere. I saw commercials playing on TV constantly. And at first, I wasn't going to see it because I remembered the prequels, and for me, I didn't enjoy the prequels. I felt like Star Wars was one of those things that they just needed to kill off mercilessly and let it rest in peace. It was great while it lasted, but it just needed to end. But then my brother went to see it and he said it was really good. He thought I would really like it. I watched the full trailer on YouTube and I was like, okay, wow, this does look really good. Not long into the movie, I made up my mind that I absolutely loved Finn and I was going to be a total Finn Rey shipper. I seriously went into this movie with every intention of coming out a Finn Rey shipper, and somehow that ship got lost at sea. Damn interrogation scene. The longer the movie went on, I eagerly anticipated the initial meeting between Rey and Kylo Ren because I just wasn't sure what was binding them together. I was really curious to see how their interactions would pan out. The moment that Rey's unconscious form draped effortlessly into Kylo Ren's arms, I knew something was up. My little subtext and fangirl bells were ringing all over the place. I knew that whether or not anything actually happened between these two characters, this scene would launch 1,000 fanfictions. But I figured the bridal carry would be the end of it because, from my experience of fandom life, us shippers are kind of like, or at least we treat fictional characters like Barbies, who we just pick up and say, ooh, I think that they'll look good together, even if it doesn't make plausible sense in the story. But then, of course, the interrogation scene comes along, and the minute that Kylo Ren removes his mask and starts breathing all over Rey's neck, I felt like Elizabeth Swann in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where she looks up at her once pearly white sails and sees that they have been turned black. I knew from that moment on that I'd fallen into the pit and I wasn't coming out. Even though I joke about being a Trashy Reylo shipper and whatnot, Rey and Kylo Ren having or developing a romance at some point in the new Star Wars trilogy makes total sense to me. But like I said, whether Reylo is actually canon or not, that's for an entirely different video. But as to the reasons why I ship Reylo, I ship Reylo because I feel like long term, their story would be a pretty epic romance. For me, when I say that I ship Reylo, it's because I'm thinking of the long term, in terms of the entire trilogy, and not just simply The Force Awakens. Obviously, Rey and Kylo Ren do not end on the best footing at the end of The Force Awakens. What we are left with is the foreshadowing and the possibility of what may happen between these two characters. The thing that struck me the most about the interactions between these two characters, even in my first viewing of The Force Awakens, was this sense of deep connection. A sense of something larger than life, aka the Force, binding them together. it was easy for me to foresee how this connection could continue to further over time. I also loved the yin and yang dynamic. Rey is light with a little bit of dark, and Kylo Ren is dark with a little bit of light. Through their interactions with each other, we see how they bring out different qualities that they didn't really know existed completely. We also see them balancing each other out in a really strange way. A lot of anti-Reylo people view the Reylo ship as being abusive because Kylo Ren interrogated her and mind-tapped her. But while I respect those views, I ultimately disagree because I see two characters who are equal in their power and strengths, as well as their weaknesses. Rey and Kylo Ren are both fierce, warrior-like individuals who are united by common struggles. I actually really love the antagonism and the challenge between these two. Not only does it create very intense scenes, but also I love how you see the tables constantly turning. I love seeing how Kylo Ren challenges her in the interrogation scene and how Rey pushes back and literally or figuratively rips the rug out from under his feet. Despite being one-upped consistently by Rey, Kylo Ren seems to really have admiration for her strength and power. Long term, I see Reylo developing into a relationship where Rey will be honored and appreciated for how powerful she is. She will be revered and respected as an equal. Obviously, these are just my opinions, and they're based more on my own feelings and maybe what I would like to see with the ship. But I definitely see these things as possibilities for these two characters, and I'm really excited to see how their relationship will continue to develop throughout the next two movies. I absolutely love antagonistic romances because ultimately I feel that they lay a foundation for growth. I definitely see the possibility of this happening with Kylo Ren and Rey. By the end of the trilogy, viewers would be able to trace the development of their relationship from the beginning, which for me would be extremely satisfying. Also, Reylo would kind of bring everything full circle. You know, we had Anakin and Padme who were a train wreck, and then we had Anakin and Obi-Wan who were a train wreck. So at the risk of sounding cheesy, Rey and Kylo Ren would essentially be the new life springing forth from the ashes. And especially if Rey and Kylo Ren have kids. I mean, talk about new life springing forth from somewhere. Obviously, I've read way too much fanfiction at this point if I'm talking about Reylo babies. Speaking of fanfiction, the Reylo fanfiction and fan art, oh my goodness. Some of the best fan art and fanfiction that I've ever read. And boy, those sex scenes are steamy. And I've read a lot of historical romance and paranormal romance, so yeah. Those fanfiction writers are definitely creative. But anyway, I'm digressing. But yeah, I could go on a long time about these two, but I'm not because you get the gist. In summary, I love Reylo because sexual tension, beautiful antagonistic romance, challenges traditional notions of gender roles, or at least that's my opinion, but that's a whole other conversation for another video. The whole yin-yang thing, great fanfiction and fan art, beautiful Reylo babies, obviously, and last but not least, it pisses off the antis. That last one's definitely in the top 3 category. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. If you'd like to contribute to the discussion, feel free to do so, but please remember to be kind. I respect other people's opinions, but I definitely expect that same treatment in return. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a fantastic night. Bye.